niggas part.
Yeah, I'm not for that whole.
Is there a Tea Party bumper sticker? Is there a subcategory of Tea Party where you can go, I'm pro Tea Party, parentheses, except for the hanging niggas part?
I don't know if they have that faction yet, but I could start it, I guess.
They call it like the tea. I don't know what you call it.
The Tea Party minus the noose, I guess.
Diet
I don't know.
Tea Party.
The Diet Tea Party.
Tea Party Light.
Tea Party Light, exactly.
Ropeless.
I'm conservative as shit because I've been to jail, so I'm like, it's some niggas that need to die.
Oh my God! If I said this, I would never work again. This is great. Keep going. No, this is
true.
Great.
No, it's true. It's like some dudes go to jail, and if you spend 20 years figuring out how not to get caught fucking violating some kid, you're supposed to be put down.
Yeah.
It's like, it's dudes that sit in there and don't better their life. They're just thinking of how not to get caught next time. So guess what?
How do we know Michael Vick's dogs weren't having sex with kids and they deserve to be put down?
Because I have no idea. I have no idea. The whole.
You really thought about it for
No,
because
I'm like the whole dog raping kids
thing. Did I hear anything about the dogs and the kids?
I don't know. I
saw like a fucking chart in your mind with like one column going up and down for kids and another column going horizontally.
And I was like, you know what?
Dogs, and you're trying to sync it up.
Like, if that was the case, then kill them.
You are a guy that'll do a show anytime, any place. There's not a mic in the world. Ryan Sickler texted me and said, make sure you ask him about when he did a show for the KKK.
Yes.
Now, obviously, he was probably just a group of racists, not the actual KKK.
Well, as far as I know, they were Klan members. Like,
how did you get hired for a Klan member show?
Okay, all right. I'm not going to do the joke because it is a joke that goes along with this story, but
no one knew it was a fucking joke till you just said it, dummy.
No, it's a story that I created the joke from, but I'm going to tell you the story.
All right.
What happened is I was performing in a place called Beaumont, Texas. And
home of Earl Campbell. Go on.
Okay.
Home of Earl Campbell.
And just so happens Ron White comes and does a guest spot at this club out of nowhere. So I basically opened for Ron White.
The black guy?
No, the white guy. Blue collar comedy.
Oh, I think it's Steve White.
No, Ron White. Yeah,
Ron White. Yeah.
So what happened was this comedy club had me up on their website with Ron White, but they had my name and not my picture. And there's another town about 30. There's another town about 30 miles from Beaumont called Vidor, Texas, and that's the home of the Klan in Texas. They got a sign outside of there that says, "If you're brown, don't let the sun go down." It's on the highway.
What's the name of this town?
Vidor, Vidor, Texas, right?
Wow.
So what happened is I was just starting comedy because I started comedy in Texas, and these dudes saw me on the website and wanted to hire me because they figured I had to be a white guy because my name is Daryl Wright. That's not like Lucius Brown or something. So they were like, so they hired me.
Sensei Davis.
Right, Sensei Davis. They would have known either he's a karate dude or his mom liked karate movies. Either way,
he's
a nigga.
got Jim Hill's hair. He ain't coming.
Right. So they hired me, and I was hyped up because, starting comedy, blah, blah, blah. I get there, right? And it was at this little bar, and I got there early, knock on the door, and the bar owner was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "I'm the comic. Y'all hired me." He's like, "Oh, shit." So me and the bar owner are sitting there talking, and he's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I don't think that you'll work here. And I'm new. I'm like, why not? He's like, well, I don't think my clientele. And as he's talking, I'm looking around the bar. It's Confederate flags everywhere. It's fucking like, oh, shit. Okay.
Reginald Denny commemorative plaque.
Right. And so he's like, look, man, nice guy. Dude was like, look, what if I just pay you and you can leave, no problem. I'm like, and I'm new in comedy, so I'm like, fuck this.
That's mighty white of you.
No, my ass was like, fuck this. I just spent my gas money. I'm doing this show. Fuck it. So.
You were new.
Yeah.
Right now you'd be like, give me the money.
Yeah, give me the money. I'm out. I do the show.
I'll drive all the way to Cisco with this money.
Dog, I do the show, and these guys were great, man.
Oh, yeah?
They loved me. After the show, we hung out. I was at the bar drinking with all of these guys. They were telling, I learned nigga jokes I did not even know existed.
Wait, is this pre-jail or post-jail?
Post-jail.
All right.
So,
most comedies, all comedies.
Yeah, all of my comedy is after jail.
All right.
Yeah.
So they were telling you black jokes?
Yeah, we were having fun, man. We were having fun drinking. And what was funny was there was a guy that walked in after the show. He didn't see me do comedy.
Uh-oh.
So he walks into the bar, and I'm sitting around there drinking with all these dudes. And so the guy says to one dude, he's like, hey, what the fuck is this nigger doing here? And this dude stands up. He's like, hey, don't you call that nigger a nigger? That nigger's a comic. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is fucking surreal. And they actually gave me, I used to have it. I think one of my girlfriends threw it out. But they gave me a Confederate flag shirt. They had them. It's all black.
Oh, I wish you still had it, dude.
I had it. So I used to wear it all the time.
That shit on stage, right?
Yeah, I have. And it was all black. It had a Confederate flag shirt. I mean, a Confederate flag on it. And they all signed it. Like, this is from Lucky's Bar.
Like, they jumped you into the club without
even...
You didn't have to take a punch.
It was one of the most fun shows. And this is the thing about comedy. Just like you said.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
This is just like you said. Because of that experience, not only do I got a great joke, but now that I've been doing comedy longer, I would hope that I would do that show now anyway, but I doubt I would. You know what I'm saying? But when you're new, it's like, fuck it, give me a microphone. Yeah. And I would hope that I still got that same.
Mic, man, I know I could rock it, but
right, it is like
putting money in my pocket.
Right, and it's like now I don't know if I would do the show again. I hope I would, but I don't know, man. It might be because you've been doing it, and you're a veteran now, sort of like I am.
At any part of drinking with these Klansmen, did you think, wow, they're probably just getting me drunk to kill me?
No. Not at all.
There was no question you were their mascot.
Never. After I started my act, I had no more fear of any of them as far as how they felt about me because they had so much fun.
So they weren't even buying Ron White drinks?
No, this was after. Like, Ron White didn't do the show. They hired me after they saw me on the website with Ron.
Gotcha.
No, Ron wasn't there. This was me basically headlining a show for these guys.
Now, here's something a white guy will never hear.
What?
Well, black guys hear all the time from racist white people, like, you know, probably like in this room you were in.
Right.
Like, you ain't like the ones that, you know, that we're talking about.
Right.
Like, it's always like, you know, well, do the right thing. Like, Michael Jordan, Prince, they're not black. They're different.
Right.
Is that, I mean, that's got to be like two worlds at once, being like two ends of a sword, because.
Not really. Not for me.
Straight up horrible.
Not for me. No.
Really?
No. Because I don't like half the niggas that I run into. So why should they? It's like, you know what's fascinating?
I'll tell you what.
About people that consider themselves or people that consider other people racist. Living in Texas is funny as hell. They will call a black guy named Brian that's a friend of theirs, Brian. Like, yeah, Byron's my friend. But they don't ever have a conversation where Byron is segregated from niggas because it's automatic in their head that Byron's not who they're talking about. So they would never say, you know what, I don't like black people except Brian. They don't even see Brian as a black guy.
So when they're talking derogatorily about black people, Brian
is not even in their thought.
And it's just understood but is it understood by Brian?
I would hope so, but it's understood by them.
And
they aren't even
understood by Brian. Move to fucking Massachusetts. What are you doing in Beaumont, Texas?
Right.
Why are you in Vidor, Texas? If you're black, that's the sun went down.
No, it was funny. I actually spent the night.
Oh no!
In that town, right? I actually spent the night in that town.
I keep thinking he's laughing. He's just leaning back in the bench.
It's like
Brian keeps going. There's an incline press.
Yeah,
and
he's working out.
I'm like, wow, he's laughing his balls off, but he's really just leaning back.
Yeah, like,
another set completed. I'm like, wow, he's killing. Not really.
No, but I actually spent the night in that town. And
Vidor?
Yeah, and I went to the Walmart in Vidor, and I was wearing that Confederate flag shirt. And this poor old lady that was at the checkout counter, she sees, first of all, there's no black people there. Then I'm buying some stuff, checking out. She sees a black guy with a Confederate flag shirt on saying good morning. I know her mind, I think her head was about to explode. You could just see the look on her face like, I've lived too long.
So your podcast is about NASCAR? Mm-hmm. Only about NASCAR? Are you going to
It's a NASCAR theme podcast. It's called The Right Turn. And it's just NASCAR themed.
NASCAR is all left turns.
I know that.
You're the right turn.
I know that. And it's just...
I dig it.
You know what? Because it's time for brothers to come out of the closet. There are a lot of black NASCAR fans.
Oh, I thought you meant guys on the down low.
No, not on the down low like that. Like, stay in the closet for that. But, what?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, because I was like...
I pulled the mic away from my head when I was
because you was about to say something. Like, I
wasn't about to say nothing.
I almost forget
I ain't gay, but let me tell you something. I am on the waiting list. If the King of Kings comes down on Judgment Day and he happens to be wearing roller skates, I will be ready.
I almost forget Jay got shit to lose, so I just say the shit that just pops into my head. No. I'm like, look, I don't mean to get you in trouble, man.
No, this is going exactly how they all go. This is great.
Okay, cool.
This motherfucker doing curls. I like a guy. You know what? Respect. You're the first guy, Daryl's friend Brian Whitaker, good comic, sitting there hanging out. You're the first guy to ever sit there and do shit. Most guys just sit there and stare at the wall like assholes. And he's actually sitting there doing the curls. And he's supersetting the 20s and the 30s. I respect it. Look at the hustle. Put some pants on somebody. Look at the game tape. I don't give a fuck if it's your own teammate.
Damn right. And then it's it's that podcast, The Right Turn podcast. And then my album just came out, as Jay knows. My album just came out on George Carlin's label. It's called Wildly Inappropriate. It's on iTunes. It's on Carlin's label. And I'm proud of it, first of all, because I finally had an album come out. Second of all, first of all, because I'm the only other artist other than George with an album on his label, Eardrum Records. So it's me and George, which is, for a comic, you know what that means for, like, to me personally. That's like a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's
How did his management people find you?
Okay, I was at the Improv one night, and he...
At Ontario Mills?
No, out at the Hollywood one.
I know. Kidding.
And he came in because one of his nieces came from out of town, and they wanted to see comedy. So the old school dudes know comedy as the Improv, like not any of the other clubs. Right. So he comes, and it's an awful night. So what he was going to do is pay for his drinks and leave. And I got to thank the Improv staff for being so slow, because if they weren't so slow to get him his credit card back, he would have never seen me walk on stage, because he was already ready to bounce. And when they brought him his credit card back, I was already on stage and he was already into my act, and that's how they saw me. Just happenstance, man. If they had been a little faster, they would have never seen me. And that's how it works in this business. You already know that,
yeah,
right?
It's just a weird confluence of events. It's just it's the weirdest shit. It's like when Indiana Jones rolls under that fucking closing door and forgets his whip. Like, and then you got to reach in and get it before it slams your arm closed. But that we all got like 40 stories like that.
Yeah,
people always go like, "What's your big break?" And I'm like, "No, man. If you're any good at this, you should have about 25 big breaks.
It's really
if you
weird.
got one big break, then you're not doing much.
It's really
then
weird.
You just landed on like, I don't know. Then you're
on a pillow somewhere.
You're Sally Struthers on All in the Family. That
or
was
else you're somebody's cousin.
Yeah.
Like if you don't got those stories of the grind, then you're somebody's cousin or somebody's nephew, because all of us grind. All of us have been through the grind. Good days, bad days, heartbreaks.
How could you possibly have bad days after being in jail for 2 years? When you wake up, you actually wake up in bad moods?
No.
I was going to say.
Because I also drink a lot, so it's like. So if I'm in a bad mood, it's vodka time, baby. It's vodka time. So it's like.
Daryl, I was at Harrah's with Daryl, and Daryl was headlining, and they accommodated me on short notice because I was doing the Dice Awards. The Dice Awards, honey!
The what?
I was doing the video game awards.
Oh, sweet.
They just called it the Dice Awards. And I'm like, fine, if you guys could just slide me in. So then Daryl slid over to the MC slot, and then we just did the show. So I'm like, man, that's like a guy, that's a boss move. Because I might have said like, man, fuck that guy. I'm not, this is
crazy?
my spot. So I brought him a bottle. I read his tweets, Vodka Time. He hashtags everything Vodka Time. So I bought him a nice big bottle of Absolute.
It was worth it.
With a little card saying, I think it was just something stupid, like Game Respects Game.
No, it was.
And that was it. And I've noticed about you, Daryl Wright. You really, I said that like, I noticed about you, Daryl Wright. You really enjoy vodka so much. It really doesn't matter what the mixer is. Because when I first saw Daryl Wright, he was drinking orange juice with his vodka. And
that's right.
later in the night, he ran out of orange juice, and I just poured some of my Giant Coke into his vodka glass.
Yep.
He just kept drinking. He didn't care.
Yeah.
So you don't care what the mixer is.
Nope.
Just as long as there's vodka
as long as
in
there's vodka in it.
Like Gatorade.
I've done that yesterday. I actually did that yesterday. I had some Gatorade laying around, and I'm like, the light green one.
That's the OG. That's the original.
Yeah. And so I was like, shit. Fuck it. It's here. Let's drink it.
When I teach kids baseball, and I take them to the batting cages and stuff, I go, first we got to stop 7-Eleven. And they're like, all right. And I go, once you go over to the refrigerator